Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like you're staring at a stranger? Not because your face changed, not because your body changed, but because somewhere along the way, you stopped recognizing the person you were supposed to become. Maybe you had dreams, big dreams, dreams that kept you awake at night, dreams that made your heart race, dreams that made you believe that one day your life would mean something extraordinary. But today, you wake up tired, you scroll endlessly, you tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, you promise yourself you'll change next week, and slowly, without realizing it, you're becoming comfortable with a life you never wanted. The truth is brutal. Nobody wakes up one day and suddenly ruins their life. It happens little by little, one excuse at a time, one missed opportunity at a time, one wasted day at a time. And before you know it, years have passed. The version of you that once had fire in their eyes has become a person who only talks about what they used to want. But here's the good news. If your life can fall apart one small decision at a time, it can also be rebuilt one small decision at a time. Today is not about motivation. Today is about a restart. Not next Monday, not next month, not after the holidays, not after life becomes easier. Today, because the greatest lie people tell themselves is this: I still have time. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But either way, time is moving. Every second is disappearing. And whether you act or not, the clock keeps going. Think about that. While you're watching this video, someone is learning a new skill. Someone is building a business. Someone is getting stronger. Someone is changing their future. The world doesn't pause because you're confused. The world doesn't stop because you're afraid. The world keeps moving. The question is, will you move with it? Or will you stay exactly where you are? Most people are waiting for a feeling. They're waiting to feel motivated. They're waiting to feel confident. They're waiting to feel ready. But successful people understand something different. Action comes first. Confidence comes later. Nobody feels ready. The entrepreneur doesn't feel ready. The athlete doesn't feel ready. The writer doesn't feel ready. The person who changes their life doesn't feel ready. They simply begin. And that's what separates them from everyone else. They start before they're comfortable. They start before they're certain. They start before they have all the answers. Because they know something most people never learn. You don't think your way into a new life. You act your way into one. Right now, your future is being built by your daily habits. Not your intentions, not your dreams, not your goals. Your habits. What you do every day becomes who you become. Read that again. What you do every day becomes who you become. If every day starts with distraction, your future will be filled with distraction. If every day starts with discipline, your future will be filled with success. Your life is not a mystery. It's a reflection. A reflection of your routines. A reflection of your standards. A reflection of the decisions you repeat. And if you don't like the reflection, change the habits, not the dream. Not too many people abandon the dream when they should be changing the process. They say, maybe I'm not talented. Maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe I'm not lucky enough. No. Maybe you've just been repeating the wrong habits. Talent is overrated. Luck is unpredictable. But consistency changes everything. A person who improves by 1% every day will eventually become unstoppable. Not because they're special, because they refuse to quit. The people you admire aren't necessarily better than you. They simply stayed committed longer than most. They kept showing up when it was boring, when it was difficult, when nobody noticed, when nobody cared. They kept going. And eventually the results appeared. That's how success works. The world sees the victory. Nobody sees the years of sacrifice behind it. Nobody sees the mornings they wanted to quit. Nobody sees the nights they doubted themselves. Nobody sees the failures. They only see the outcome. But every great life is built in private before it's celebrated in public. And that's where your restart begins. In private. When nobody is watching. When nobody is clapping. When nobody is impressed. Because character is built in the moments that don't make headlines. The question isn't whether you can change your life. The question is whether you're willing to do the boring things required to change it. Because greatness is often boring. It's waking up early. It's exercising when you don't feel like it. It's reading when entertainment is easier. It's saving money when spending feels better. It's working when excuses sound convincing. The simple things, repeated consistently, that's all. Nothing magical, nothing glamorous, just discipline, day after day after day. The problem is that modern life has trained us to chase comfort. Everything is designed to be easier, faster, more convenient, more entertaining. And comfort itself isn't the enemy. But addiction to comfort is, because growth requires discomfort. Strength requires resistance. Confidence requires challenge. Transformation requires effort. The person you want to become exists on the other side of discomfort. The reason most people never meet that version of themselves is because they keep turning around the moment things get hard. They quit too early. They stop too soon. They give up right before the breakthrough. Imagine planting a seed. You water it every day. You take care of it. Weeks pass. Nothing happens. Would you dig it up every morning to check if it's growing? Of course not. You trust the process. Yet that's exactly what people do with their goals. They work for a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month. Then they say, it's not working, and they quit. The seed never gets a chance to grow. Success requires patience. Real patience. The kind that keeps working even when results are invisible. The kind that keeps believing when progress feels slow. The kind that understands that every meaningful achievement takes time. Your life can change dramatically in a year, but only if you're willing to stay committed longer than your excuses. And speaking of excuses, let's talk about them. Because excuses are expensive. Every excuse costs you something. Every excuse steals potential. Every excuse delays the future you deserve. I don't have enough time. Neither do the people succeeding. I don't have enough money. Many successful people started with less. I'm too old. Someone older than you is starting today. I'm too young. Someone younger than you is already building their future. Excuses feel comforting in the moment, but they become painful over time. Because one day you'll have to face the reality that your excuses didn't protect you. They only prevented you from growing. And that's a painful realization. One of the hardest moments in life is realizing that the barriers holding you back were never outside of you. They were inside you. Your fear, your doubt, your procrastination, your unwillingness to act. The moment you accept responsibility is the moment your life begins to change. Not blame, responsibility. There's a difference. Blame focuses on the past. Responsibility focuses on the future. You cannot control what happened to you, but you can control what happens next, and that is where your power lives. Not in yesterday, not in last year, not in your mistakes. In this moment, right now, this exact second, because every second gives you a choice. Stay the same, or restart. Stay stuck, or move forward. Stay comfortable, or grow. The choice seems small, but small choices create massive outcomes. A single workout won't transform your body. A single book won't transform your mind. A single day of discipline won't transform your life. But repeated over months and years, everything changes. The compound effect is one of the most powerful forces in the world. Tiny actions, repeated consistently, creating extraordinary results. That's why you don't need a perfect plan. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need perfect timing. You need momentum. One step, then another, then another. Keep moving. Keep building. Keep improving. Because momentum creates motivation, not the other way around. Stop waiting for inspiration. Start creating evidence. Evidence that you're becoming stronger. Evidence that you're becoming more disciplined. Evidence that you're becoming the kind of person who keeps promises to themselves. And that's important. Because self-respect isn't built by talking. It's built by action. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows. Every time you break a promise to yourself, your confidence weakens. Trust yourself again. Become someone you can rely on. If you say you'll wake up early, do it. If you say you'll work on your goals, do it. If you say you'll change, prove it, not to the world, to yourself. Because the relationship you have with yourself determines the quality of your entire life. You carry that relationship everywhere, into your career, into your health, into your finances, into your relationships, into your future, and if you've been disappointing yourself for years, Today can be different. Today can be the day you draw a line in the sand. The day you decide enough is enough. The day you stop negotiating with your potential. The day you stop settling for less than you're capable of becoming. Not because life suddenly became easier, but because you became stronger. Understand this. Your future self is watching, not literally, but metaphorically. The person you'll become 5 years from now is being created by the decisions you make today. Every habit is a vote. Every action is a vote. Every decision is a vote. Who are you voting to become? A stronger person or a weaker one? A disciplined person or a distracted one? A creator or a consumer? A leader or a follower? Your life is the result of your votes. Cast them wisely. And remember this: it's never too late to restart. As long as you're breathing, there is still time to change direction. There is still time to learn. There is still time to grow. There is still time to become who you're meant to be. The past is over. The mistakes are done. The regrets exist, but they don't have to define you. Today matters more than yesterday. What you do next matters more than what happened before. So stop carrying the weight of your old identity. You are not your failures. You are not your worst decisions. You are not the mistakes you made years ago. You are the choices you make from this moment forward. This is your restart. Not a dramatic restart. Not a perfect restart. A real restart. The kind where you get up. The kind where you stop making excuses. The kind where you choose growth over comfort. The kind where you finally take responsibility for your future. Years from now, you will look back on this chapter of your life, and you'll either be grateful that you started today, or you'll wish you had. Make the decision that your future self will thank you for. Get up. Take the first step. Do the work. Stay consistent. Trust the process. Keep going. And restart your life today.